Alright guys, I just got some soot on my hands for putting that back together. So, this thing is pretty much overkill for this thing, as you can see. But I'm thinking if I add a hole on either one of these panels, most likely this side, then I can run a wire around this, basically this cooking rack, and then I can be able to flip it up like a hinge type of deal. So I might do that. As you can see, it's huge, so you could have your main thing cooking here, and if you balance it right, you could have some little things off to the side here cooking as well. Even smoking stuff. Like if you got some meat to smoke, you could hang it out way off the edge here. And then the heat should be able to cook that down. But like I say, I could cut this and get 4 pieces out of here, but then that would compromise the end structure. Let's see. Yeah, it'd compromise it. So I will just leave it as is, and then go from there. That should work fine. I'll add a hole on this side. That way it stays on there, even though I don't think it's going to go anywhere once you have weight on here. And then that should work out pretty dandy. And then even if you had your wet socks or something, guys, you could hang your wet socks off the grill on the far ends here, and then have your pot of water cooking right in the middle, just to dry stuff out. Gloves, socks, etc., etc. So not too bad. And I'm loving the aluminum. I was kind of iffy on really if it was gonna melt or not, but thankfully nothing happened, and it was a good solid hour burn. I let everything burn down, and then Dave, one of my commenters on YouTube, I believe it was Dave, mentioned less holes in the panes. So that's what I did this time. I only did one per section, excluding the hinge holes, of course. So those just have to be there to keep a structure. And then with the less holes, it still burnt very hot. The wind still allowed a nice burn. So pretty nice. So that's what it looks like now, guys. After a few more burns, heavy burns, I should be able to get all this paint off, and then it'll be a shiny galvanized coating on there, or whatever coating you like to name it. I don't know the actual name. And then I'm going to switch my very first galvanized stove out with this one. This will go in my bug out bag because it's a lot lighter, and even with this it's light. This takes up a little more space though, so I would keep this anyway though, just because the different abilities this has to possibly dry out clothing easily. And then you're cooking, of course, because if you remember, I had to fold the stove into a diamond shape for my mess kit, sort of like this before, and you can still do that. Say this breaks and it's pretty much trash, you can still use the stove like this, and then you won't have an issue with cooking stuff. So you just move adjust it the way you want, just so whatever size pot you have fits. So it has all the same functions, folds flat, but I don't keep it like this in the bag. I take everything apart and then have basically just everything packed in. Panels set, all the panels disconnected from one another, and then I have my wire moved around, and then I throw in an extra spool, about 2 feet of extra wire with that stuff, just in case you lose one or something breaks, whatever. So there you go, guys, the DIY survival stove 2.0. And that's it for this video, guys.